Hey, Facebook. What's up, y'all? How are you guys? All right, so Nick here, and I just did a video in my group. Um, if you guys want to get in a group, I have Reinvent Myself, My Life, My Biz, and My Money group. All right, I will put that link to our group in the chat below, and I just talked to them about how to get in alignment. And I'm going to be talking a lot about that. How do you get your life in alignment? How do you get in alignment career path with your personal life, with your relationships, with your money? How do you get in alignment? So I wanted to hop on here today to talk about it's time to disrupt some stuff. This is a word that some people are resistant to. And in some spaces, it means it is like a breakthrough. But when you think about disruptor, it stands for, the definition of it is a person or thing that interrupts an event, activity, or process by causing a disturbance or a problem, right? Now, I'm not talking about creating it from a standpoint of a problem, but I am mean by a disturbance. I think it's time for us to shake some up, right? I realize that many of us are living and coasting through life in a safe zone. It's like I'm reading this book. I don't know if here it is. It's one of my favorite books, The Dream Giver. Okay. I talk about this book all the time. I'm reading it again, probably about for the 10th time. Somebody gave me this book years ago, probably about 15 years ago. It was in a time when my life was falling apart. And I read this book and I was like, oh my God, this book is amazing. And so I've given it away as gifts so many times. I've encouraged a lot of my coaching students to read it. I'm always talking about it. And I just bought it for somebody in my leadership community. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and read it again with her. So every time I talk about it, I read it. So I started reading it again, The Dream Giver. And the main character, his name is Ordinary, and he lives in the land of the familiar. And he does what all the ordinaries do in all the familiar territory. And they have this routine, regimented life. But then he has a disruption, right? And the disruption is a feather in his windowsill. And that feather represented that there's so much more for you in life than living in the land of the familiar and being ordinary. But the problem was, if Ordinary went to all of his ordinary friends and family, most of them were so disturbed by the idea of disrupting their familiar life that they became what they call border bullies, where they were like, no, don't change anything. Keep it all the same. Stay safe. Stay in the safe zone. Let's keep doing the same thing the same way over and over again because this is the familiar and we need to stay here. And what I love about this story is that it's a reflection of most of us in life, right? You get up, you go to your same job, you drive the same direction, you do the same thing, you have the same, process of your day. You come home and you have the same routine when you get home, and you go to sleep and you wake up and you do it all over again. And the truth is that most of us are suffocating in the world of the familiar. We're suffocating in this space of same, but we have no idea how to shift it. And that's why I'm saying it's time to disrupt some things in your life, because there's so much more to living than this routine of humdrum same that you have been living in. Now, I struggle sometimes because I'm not normal. I'm not the typical person that is safe at all. And I don't want to sound like I'm being totally reckless. You do still have bills to pay. You do still have a, level of responsibility to maintain. But what more is it that you're called to create for yourself that you have yet to give yourself freedom to walk into? What is the life in the world? What are the dreams? What are the goals? What are the ideas? What are the plans that you've had that have been catching dust year after year after year after year, and you keep telling yourself one day, one day, one day, one day, one day? I had a conversation yesterday with one of my good friends, and we talked about it. It was like, man, listen, we've been having the same conversation for like 10 years. It's time to get over it. Just push the button. Just hit the go button. Just do it. It doesn't matter how perfect it is. It doesn't matter, what you feel like you need to get together, because here at the end of the day, none of us know when we out of here. And y'all, people are leaving this earth in droves every single day. Every day on my timeline is somebody passing away. And a lot of them are young. People who are in their 20s having heart attacks, people still catching COVID and not being able to breathe anymore. It's so many different scenarios where it's just like your tomorrow is not promised, right? So what do you need to do differently to be able to recreate a life that you were born to create, even if it's unfamiliar? I'm going to share that with you, right? I'm going to share some practical steps and some practical tips on things that you can do to personally commit to disrupting your own life, right? One of the first things that I recommend everybody do is get a journal, okay? Get a journal, right? Get a journal. And I want you to sit down and I want you to write, just freehand write. What are some of the things that I've always wanted to do that I have not done yet? It might be something as simple as I want to go to Bali, or I wanted to have more kids, or I wanted to buy my dream car. I just want you to freehand write out whatever that thing is. So here's what I'm asking that you do. Write down a list of all the things that you've always wanted to do. Just write. I don't care if it's, I wanted to mentor somebody in a Big Brother, Big Sister program. I wanted to fund whales in Africa, whatever. Write it down on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I want you to write down all the reasons why you haven't done it yet, right? So let's just say, for example, you wanted to launch your own daycare. I always thought that I wanted to own my own daycare. I always wanted to, I love working with kids. My kids had a bad experience when they were in daycare. I had this vision of this amazing daycare that I wanted to start. But the reason why I didn't start it is I didn't feel like I was certified for opening a daycare. I didn't feel like I had the money. I didn't feel like it was something that I was able to do. I didn't feel like whatever. I want you to write a list of all the reasons why you have not done it. And then I want you to ask yourself, what can you do to access those resources so you can turn that thing around, right? So maybe it is take a class on opening up a daycare. Maybe it is go visit a daycare and talk to the owner and get insight on how they got started. Maybe it's go talk to the Small Business Association and see what it takes to you can get a mentor at the SBA. But I want you to think about, so make a list of all the things you've always wanted to do. Make a list of all the reasons why you haven't done it. And then ask yourself, what can you begin to do to turn these things around? Here's why, you guys. There's a book, and let me see if I can pull it up. Okay. There's a book called The 5 Regrets of the Dying. All right. Sounds morbid, but it's real. Okay. I'm going to read these to you guys. I posted it on my wall the other day and people are like, whoa. Okay. Here's the 5 regrets of the dying. This lady was a nurse at a hospice facility. And she used to talk to people who they knew they were going to die. Right. And so she would ask them, what are some of your biggest regrets in life? What are some of the things that you wish you would have done? Right. And so she found a consistent response from the same people, from different people over time. And I'm going to share those 5 things with you. The first one was, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life that others expected of me. Oh my God. That is the number one huge, largest regret that people have, is that they lived for other people and they didn't live for themselves. I want you to ask yourself, the life that you're living right now, whose life is that? Is it a life that somebody told you needed to live? Is it a life that, you thought that's what you're supposed to do because this is what they say you do when you become an adult? You go to school, you get a good education, you get a good job, and then you just do this? Is it your life, or is it a life that somebody told you should want to live? want you to think about that. The second regret of the dying is, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Many people realize that they worked so hard, they didn't enjoy the life that they were creating. And when I think about that, I want you to ask yourself, of all the hours you have worked over the years to create your income, how much of it has gone into personal fulfillment? How much of it has been to help you create a life that you enjoy, that you love? How many times have you had to hold off on things that you desire for yourself because you had to responsibly pay your bills? I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, what are you working for? Are you working for the power company, for the bank, for your car note, for your mortgage? Or are you working to live out your purpose, your life's purpose, to do the thing that you were born, created, and gifted to do? For those of you who don't know who I am, that's what I do for a living. I don't even, it's like these titles. I'm not big on titles, but I love to help people identify who is it that you were born to be and how to create a life that you love, becoming that, right? Biz transformational coach, life transformational coach, call it what you want. But I'm here to help you define and create and live in your purpose. That's my mission on the earth. That's what I do. Something I've been doing for years and didn't even know it. But it's something that I am committed to doing in this journey. It's really inspiring and encouraging people to get clear on who God created you to be and how to live and manifest that life. Because guess what? That's why God planted you here. He gave you everything you needed. I tell people we all have a GPS. We all have gifts, passions, and skills that God has equipped inside of us that were designed to be our gift to the earth. Now, the unfortunate thing is many of us don't know how to tap into them. We don't know how to use them to our benefit, and we don't know how to use them to turn them around to become our life's work that actually supports us financially. That's what I teach people how to do. Want to learn more? You can join our group because I'll be showing y'all how to do that over the next couple of months, right? But regret number 2, the 5 regrets of the dying, regret number 2 is I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Regret number 3 is I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. I'm going to repeat that. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. So here's the thing. Many of us are unhappy. We're miserable. We are not connected to where we want to be. And we don't know how to tell people because we are ashamed or we feel guilty if we say, kind of hate my life right now, right? We feel like we're being ungrateful because we're like, oh my God, I have this beautiful house. I drive this great car. I have this great job. I mean, why should I be complaining? It's not about complaining. It's about being authentically aware of where you are and asking yourself, is this the life that I really want to live? Is this the world that I really want to create? Or am I cool with compromising and settling for whatever happens? If you're cool with settling for it, go for it, right? 5 regrets of the dying. Number 4 is I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Y'all, listen, this is something that I'm realizing so much more. Maybe the pandemic really enlightened me in this, but we need each other, right? We need each other. Isolation is the playground for depression. Isolation is the playground for mental bondage. Isolation will have you in all different thoughts and keeping you separated. Hey, Taria, keeping you separated from things that you have so much. I mean, building relationships with people and being connected to community is your greatest source of wealth. When you have a network of people that believe in you, that support you, that you're connected to, that you're investing in each other, and you're actually working and collaborating to build and create a world that supports everybody's goal and vision in life, man, it's the best thing you could ever do. And I think as we get older, we neglect those areas, right? And so for those of you that are just joining, I'm actually talking about the 5 regrets of the dying, kind of morbid, right? But here it is, right? The 5 regrets of the dying. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself. not the life others expected of me. That's number one. Number two is I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Number three is I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Number four, I wish I'd stayed in touch with friends. And number five, I wish I had let myself be happier. 5 Regrets of the Dying. It's a book. Go read it. That's the book right there, right? The 5 Regrets of the Dying. Okay? 5 Regrets of the Dying. Go look it up. Y'all listen, we don't have forever. We don't have forever. And I am on a journey. I am on a personal mission to inspire, encourage, and enlighten anyone that I come into contact with, to let you know that there's so much more life to live for you, and encourage you to go after the life that you desire. I am very, very not normal, abnormal. I am definitely a unicorn. I am definitely somebody who is not going to sit around all day and tell you all the reasons why something won't work. I am the one that will make you believe you can walk on the moon without a moon suit. But that is the gift that God has given me, to inspire and encourage you to tap into the things that you want to accomplish, to let you know that you don't have forever. You do not have forever. You have limited days on this earth. And there's this app that I have. It's a parenting app. And what it does is it asks you for your children's information, and it does a calculation of how many days you have before your child is 18. And it's crazy because I can't remember where, I haven't looked at it recently, but it'll tell me I have like, it's like you have, 155 weeks left with Chloe, right? Before she's grown and gone. And so as I look at that and I'm thinking, geez, by the time she's 18, she might be leaving, going to college, or she might. So it's like, I really got to take into consideration, this is week 155. Next week, we down to 154 weeks, then 153 weeks. And y'all know these weeks fly by so fast. And it's letting you know, you don't have a lot of time for your kids to be, they're not going to be small forever. So we have to ask ourselves, like, what kind of timeline are we on, and what are we going to do differently to begin to take advantage of the time that we have? I will be releasing in the next week or two a quiz that is going to allow you guys to take a quiz to see who are you and how you show up in the world. What are your gifts? What are your personality traits that are going to transform your life? And how do you own those? And I'll be teaching on different classes on how to reinvent yourself. My whole mission is to help people. It's not just reinvent, it's rediscover. How do you rediscover who you are, what it is you're called to do, and how do you make your life's work create the world that you want? It's possible, y'all. I've been living in this space for, God, I haven't had a job since I left college. And I've been able to create a very comfortable life every year, making a good living, even though it's been ups and downs in this journey, but I've never, totally feel like I've taken a major L, even in my losses, because it's all been growth that has been fulfilling. It's like, oh, these are lessons that I'm learning. These are things that I'm developing and evolving into. These are opportunities that I probably would have never had if I got stuck in the humdrum of life and did what everybody else told me to do. So if you want to learn more about being in this community, I'm going to show you guys and equip you with the tools. What are the tools that you need to create a life that you want? I have a quiz, a survey. It is so much fun, y'all. It is going to show you who you are. It'll help you discover who you are. It's going to blow your mind. And so I'll be releasing that in the upcoming weeks. And on the back end, I have some tools and resources to start helping you dig into this journey of life that you want to live. So what I'm going to do, hey, Shaletta, I'm going to put the link to our group. I did a video over in the group today on how to get in alignment with your life and things that you'll discover along the way. And so I'm going to put that link here in the comments below, and you guys will see me popping in over the next couple of weeks, because I am your dream fairy. Okay. If you have a dream, you have a goal, you have a vision, you have desires, you have things that you want to create. And I don't mean fairy tale stuff, y'all. I mean real life, real tangible plans of how do I launch my whatever business, right? You might want to launch a coaching business. You might want to become a travel blogger. All those things are possible. You might want to launch a preschool, right? You might want to become a sports coach, whatever it is. But we'll talk about what things, practical steps do you need to take to create the life that you want. And I'll give you and equip you with those tools. So I will put that information in the comment section. I am looking forward to seeing you guys over in our group. So y'all have a great and awesome day. I'll be tuning in some more, but gotta go. Love y'all. Bye.